your location.
Recording in progress.
Okay. So I want to welcome everyone to this inaugural session of Cloud and Devops training. So basically, what we'll be doing here today is giving you guys a brief of what the training, what the program is all about. And also, if you have any questions you want to ask, you can really ask any questions that regard to the program. I'm here with my colleagues, fellow instructors. So we'll be taking your questions and also elaborate more on what this program is, the benefits, and the journey, so the path to our final destination as Devops engineers. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Cyril Osai, and I'm a certified AWS solution architect, also a certified software tester. Basically, I have about 5 years hands-on experience as a cloud and DevOps engineer. I've worked on several challenging projects, including digital payments, government projects, and also just to mention a few projects I've worked with. Previously, I used to work as a Linux system administrator, but currently I work remotely as a cloud and DevOps engineer for a fintech company here in Lekki, in Lagos. So that's a little introduction, a brief background of myself. So I have some of my fellow instructors here too, so they'll also introduce themselves to you. Mr. Taufik, you can also introduce yourself, and Austin is also here, you can also introduce himself, and Mr. Richard too.
Sorry, I didn't get your name, please. I didn't get your name.
Oh, my name is Cyril Osai.
Osai.
Cyril, just CY.
Okay, CY. Okay, yeah, got it. Thank you. Okay, CY. Okay.
Yeah, so you can you can mute yourself, for Evelyn. Yeah, so my name is Taufik Yusuf. I'm a co-founder of Cloud and Devops Experts, and I'll be a co-trainer in Cloud and DevOps. I'm a cloud DevOps engineer in a leading software company here in the United States. And I have 5 years experience in cloud and DevOps. I've supported over 5 major production release. And we are here to actually train you guys on cloud and DevOps. So today we are going to welcome like any question you have on the process. And again, we are going to explain the process in which we are going to, I think the thing is echoing.
Yeah, it's from Galaxy H12. Maybe
Okay, let me try to mute everybody. Yeah, so I think it's better now. So yeah, once again, I'm a cloud DevOps lead in a leading software company here in the United States. So today is our inaugural session. We are going to walk you through the process in which we are going to train you to become a cloud DevOps engineer in just 4 months. And this training is actually targeted to those people that does not have any previous knowledge in IT. So like if you don't have any knowledge in IT, like you don't need to worry yourself because we are starting from the scratch. We are starting right from the Windows Server administration, and that is going to span for 1 month. You are going to learn different virtual machine in Windows servers, the meaning of network infrastructures, how you can promote a server to become a domain controller. So just just to onboard you guys to IT basically. And that's going to span for like 1 month. Then from there, we'll now move you guys to Linux server administration, which will also span for 1 month as well. In there, you are going to learn how to actually run a Linux command in a Linux operating system. And you learn the basic and the basic networking and advanced networking in Linux. Then from there, we'll now move you guys to cloud computing, like AWS cloud. So like in cloud, we have the different cloud service provider. We have AWS, we have Microsoft Azure, we have Google Cloud, we have the Alibaba, we have Oracle Cloud, you know, so all those are called CSP, or you can call them cloud service provider. So we are going to leverage on AWS. The reason is because like AWS own the highest market share in the industry. Most companies leverage on AWS, and with that, they will need a cloud engineers to help them to manage their network infrastructures, their services in the cloud, right? Then we are going to do a lot of hands-on in cloud. Like in the 3rd week in cloud, you will learn how to actually host a static website on an S3 bucket. You will learn how to actually provision a server, a web tier application. Then from there, we'll now move to Devops. Devops is just like an acronym that is coming from the word development and operation. So the idea is that if you as a cloud engineer, you provision the infrastructure in cloud, right? Then you are the DevOps engineer, you will now be the one to deploy the application on top of the infrastructure you provision in cloud. So that's the reason why you have to learn both cloud and DevOps. So this is the process in which we are going to walk you through. So like I would like to also introduce my co-trainer as well, Mr. Austin. Yeah, so Mr. Austin, you can take over.
So apparently, Mr. Austin is, I think he's a noisy background, so he's here because he just sent me a message.
Oh, okay.
So he's also a co-instructor, and he's also a certified solution architect, and he works here in.
I think we lost Mr. Siwai. Yeah, so okay, go ahead.
Okay, so just to add more info as regards what Mr. Taufik was saying. We don't just train you and leave you after the 4th month. So we also prepare you for the certification exam, and we recommend you write the AWS CSA solution architect exam, right? So we guide in writing the exam, and also we give you DOMs and mock-up questions and hands-on practicals in which you can write the exam comfortably well and pass too. So we also help you in your resume building, and we also help you for interview prep. And with all this, we don't just say, okay, fine, our student has written the exam, yes, our student has passed the interview, yes, and that's it. No, we're like a family to the end. So even at your job place, we also help you when it comes to if you have challenges where you work, if you need a job assistance, we also do render that too. So apart from just training you guys for 4 months, we also put all this as a package too, you know. So basically, you'll be learning a lot of tools when it comes to cloud and DevOps. There are several tools you'll be learning, like Jenkins for CI. You'll be learning them Terraform, learning them Docker, and these are industry standard tools for this role. So basically, after the training, you could take up roles like cloud engineer, take up roles as a solution architect, you can take up roles as a Devops engineer, you can also take up roles as maybe a deployment engineer if you have written maybe like Kubernetes administrator exam. So there are several roles you can take up after this training, right? So just to explain what DevOps is, DevOps is like Mr. T said, it's an acronym from development and operation, which is DevOps, right? And it's a set of practice that combines software development and IT operation, So it's actually shortens the life cycle, that's shortens the software development life cycle and also provide continuous delivery, continuous integration, continuous development, with high software quality. So that's just a brief explanation of what DevOps is. So yeah, Mr. T, you could go ahead.
Okay, yeah, sure. So thank you. So we want to welcome questions. Wait, 1 second, let me try to mute everybody, like the thing is echoing. Yeah, so we want to welcome questions, like we want to know you better so I can be able to know your background and how to actually serve you better, right? So you are free to ask your question. Okay, I can see Onyeku. Okay, let me unmute you. Yeah, go ahead with your question, Mr. Onyeku.
Okay, good evening, all.
Yeah,
Can I be heard?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I would say I'm glad to be part of this, and Austin is my colleague. Back then, we worked together in a FM. I'm a pharmacist, and I just have little or let me just say no basic knowledge. I'm just hearing all these words for the first time, and I believe it's something we'll go through. But my question is, with all this you have said, and will these 4 months be enough for us to be able to grab all this, including the terminology, how to do things and everything? And will you also, is it a computer-based, are you going to be providing us with any software we'll be using? Maybe a software we'll install in our systems so that while the class is going on, we can also be operating, and we believe it should be a practical based something. So while it's being done, we are also looking at it and we are doing the same thing and probably achieving the same result as the tutor is doing. So I just want to be clarified on the process, how it goes. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Thank you so much for your question. So to answer your first question, yes, we all work as a cloud DevOps engineer, and we know for a fact that within 4 months, like, we can be able to train you guys to become a cloud DevOps engineer. And what we're actually doing differently in our training is that we are starting from the scratch, right from the definition of like the real ABCD in IT. You will learn the meaning, like what do they call server? What was the meaning of network? What was the meaning of network infrastructure? Like, how can you actually promote a server to become a domain controller? How can you ping servers together, right? So we are going to train you guys. The first month of the training, we actually focus on all these basics, right? You will know the meaning of server, you know the meaning of virtual machine, you know the meaning of hypervisor, you know the meaning of network, then from there. So once you are done with the first month training, at least you'll be so confident enough to actually say, okay, yes, you are an IT person, right? Because you now be comfortable with all these terminologies. So once we are now done with the Windows Server administration, right? we'll now move to the Linux server administration. That's what they call the command line interface. That's where you will now learn how to actually run a command on an operating system. You understand? So the way we actually design the training is to actually accommodate novice. If you don't know anything in IT, believe me, by the end of the 4 months, you are going to actually at least call yourself as a cloud DevOps engineer. And once you are done with the training, we do compulsory a certification course for everybody, because that will actually validate your knowledge in the cloud. You understand? So just leave that to us. The way we actually design the training, by the end of the 4 months, believe me, you can be able to pick up a job as a cloud DevOps engineer. And to go with your second question, the training is practical based, right? You must have your laptop, and you must have at least minimum of 8 gig RAM, because you are going to install a lot of softwares. Like in your first month and your second month, you will install hypervisor, you will install virtual machine, you install Windows operating system, so, and that takes space, right? So so this training is purely practical. It's not theory. You understand? Like, it's purely practical. Everything we'll be doing is practical based, right? Like, we can just explain some theory just for you to understand the concept around it. Then once we are done, then we'll just make our hands dirty. We'll go to the we go to the software and start doing stuff, right? So the training is practical based, and the training is is on Zoom. And by the end of the training, by the end of each training, like, let me say, because the training is weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we do send a recorded video to everybody. So if peradventure you are not opportune to attend the lecture, you can actually watch the video, right? So the training for Nigerian residents is from 3 o'clock to 5 p.m. While for US residents, for CST, that's 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., right? And it's via Zoom. So once again, the training is practical based. We are starting from the Windows Server Administration. Then from there, we'll now move to Linux Server Administration. The reason is because these two server administration will actually equip you in the cloud. The bedrock for cloud and DevOps is Linux. So that is the reason why you have to actually be comfortable enough to know how to run a Linux command on a Linux operating system. We are going to treat that for complete 1 month. So once we are now done with that, we'll now move to the cloud, AWS cloud to be precise. You will learn a lot of stuff in cloud, right? And once we are done with cloud, we do make it mandatory for everybody to write a certification called AWS Solution Architect, associate level, because that is going to validate your knowledge in cloud. So once we are done with cloud, then we'll now move to DevOps, right? And in DevOps, you will learn various tools. Tools like Maven, which is like a building tool, tools like a CI/CD tool called like Jenkins, and we are going to leverage on both a monolithic application and microservice application, right? So you are going to learn a lot of stuff in cloud and DevOps. So by the end of the training, you write your certification, and once you have passed your certification, you come back to us. We'll help you to build your CV. We'll help you to build your LinkedIn profile, and we'll give you like interview preparation to land on a job, basically. And to talk on the job markets for cloud DevOps engineer, cloud DevOps engineer role right now is very, very demanding. And if you are here in the United States, the minimum you can get as a cloud DevOps engineer is $100,000. And if you are in Nigeria, the minimum you can get as a cloud DevOps engineer is 500K. At least we trained someone last 4 months, and that guy got a job in Nigeria worth 1.2 million. So if I should mention 500, that is the minimum you can get. You can get a job in Nigeria worth 1.5 million, right? And the beauty of cloud and DevOps job is that you can be in Nigeria, be working for a company in Dubai. You can be in Nigeria, be working for a company in the US. You can be in Nigeria, be working for a company anywhere in the world. The job can be done remotely, right? So the job is very, very demanding, and it is very wide. It's not hard, but it's just kind of wide. So even though we try as much as possible to train you guys, we will still expect you to actually be committed, and you just have to be dedicated to the training. You have to practice every training session we have. You have to make sure that you go over the video again, you practice, because this training session, this training program is not all about let me say reading. You are not reading. You just need to understand the concepts. Once you just understand the concepts, then you go to the cloud, then you start practicing. You understand? So you watch the video, then you practice everything you have in the video, right? So the training is all about practicing, repracticing, practicing. That's the key to cloud DevOps job. Basically, you need to practice, because when you practice, you will now be at least be confident enough to say yes, you can be able to talk on all these services, right? So I think that's answer your question. I think that answers your question. Let us still, Mr. Tio want to talk, right? Yeah, Mr. Tio, go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Mr. Yusuf, for having me on. It's nice to you guys on. I want to say I have 3 questions I would like you to address.
Okay.
Hello, are you there, Mr. Yusuf?
Yes, sure. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I want to thank my very good friend, pharmacist Dada, for recommending this training. I've always been quite enthusiastic about tech, and I feel for me being a pharmacist, starting off at this point wouldn't be so bad. I just have 3 questions, and thank you for running through the outline and what the scope of this training would cover. Question number 1 is this. So outside, just aside this training we're going to get, are there other trainings we will need to get, or are there other resources we will need to get and put together personally to help us progress in this? That's 1. Then 2, I would love to have to know if there is a difference between a product manager in tech and a DevOps engineer. And if there is a difference, I would like you to let me know in this actually. Then the 3rd question is, so we have training for just, is it 2 days in a week, or just, is it Sunday, Saturday, or just Saturday in a week? Yeah. So that's all for now.
Okay, yeah, so to go with your 3rd question first, I think that one is easy to answer. The training is just for 2 days, as in a week is 2 days, which is on a weekend, Saturday and Sunday. For Nigeria residents, this training is 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. For US residents is 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Right, and the training is always recorded. By the end of each training session, we send the recorded video to everybody's email so that you can be able to practice before the next training. I think that answers your 3rd question. And to go with your second question, you ask if there is a difference between a product manager and a DevOps engineer. Yes, there's a difference. A product manager is the person who have the overall knowledge of the projects. It will be the one in charge to actually, as in, it will know the overall goal, what we are trying to achieve, the application we are trying to build, how the UI is going to look like, how the backend is going to look like, just on a high level, right? That's a product manager, or you can call them a project manager, right? So in every team, in any project you want to accomplish, you must have a product manager, or in my company where I work, we call them a product owner, right? We have a product owner, we have a project manager. A product owner, at least with the name implies, you know that he knows the overall goal of the project, just on a high level, nothing techy. Let me mute everybody. Yeah, so let me mute everything. Okay, so now, so that's for a product manager. Why a DevOps engineer? A DevOps engineer will be the one in charge of the infrastructure, basically, and like it will be the one to manage the deployment of the application. So the idea is this, so that I can be able to understand the role of a DevOps engineer. So we want to build an application. Let me say we want to build Uber application, right? We have the product owner, we have the project manager, we have the Scrum Master, we have the architects, we have the DevOps engineer. You will be the one to build the infrastructure. Infrastructure in the sense that the servers, all the services required for that application. You are going to need a database. That one is for sure. You will need a server, which is the compute instance. That one is for sure. You will need a load balancer, which is like an internet facing services, right? So a lot of services you are going to need. So as a DevOps engineer, or I do call them a cloud DevOps engineer, because a DevOps engineer do the work of cloud as well, right? You will be the one to actually build, or let me say, create this infrastructure in the cloud. So once you have provisioned this infrastructure, that's the work of what? That's for the cloud. Then to go on the DevOps, as we mentioned, right? DevOps. So the idea is that the developer, which is the programmer, like is the one writing the code, the developer will commit the code to the GitHub, right? So where you now come in is that you are now saying to the developer, don't worry about your, as in, don't worry about the code. I will be the one in charge to actually build the code, right? There is a tool in which they use in building codes, which we are going to train you guys on when we get to DevOps. Example of a building tool is Maven. Maven or Gradle or Ants, these are building tools, right? So you will now use Maven to build the code. So once you use Maven to build the code, as the DevOps engineer, you will be the one to build the code. You will now be the one to deploy the code on top of the infrastructure you provision, right? So, but before deploying, there will be a lot of processes that have to actually go through. That's why it's called continuous integration, continuous deployment, because in that continuous integration, you actually do some code scanning. You will scan the code against a lot of vulnerabilities, like against code smell, to just make sure that it's a quality code, right? Before you now deploy the code on top of the infrastructure. You understand? So as a DevOps engineer, you'll be the one to build the infrastructure and deploy the code on top of the infrastructure. Outside that, you are the one in charge of the configurations of the infrastructure. Maybe you want to provision a web server, or, you know, everything about configurations is the work of a DevOps engineer. Everything about creating the infrastructure is the work of a DevOps engineer. Everything about deploying the code on top of the infrastructure is the work of DevOps engineer. And when then once you are done with everything, you deploy the code to the server, there will be like a unifying domain name, right? When you go to Uber now, you will see like something uber.com, right? As a DevOps engineer, you will be the one to make sure that when the public type www.uber.com, there will be a web page, there will be a response, right? There will be a response, the web page is going to open. If you are getting a 404 error or you are getting a 500 error, there are a lot of errors in which you will be the one to actually debug the issue and see, okay, what is the issue? Is there any issue with the server, or is there any issue with the code? So as a DevOps engineer, you are the one in charge of the infrastructure, you are the one in charge of the configurations, and you are the one in charge of deploying the code on the infrastructure. So that's the work of a DevOps engineer. I think that's answered your question, right? Or do you still have another question? I think you asked 3 questions, right?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So
For the second question.
For the second question, which
yeah, that's fine for the second question. So what's left is the first one.
So,
what I asked was, are there resources we would need?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Training.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah. So, the way we design the training, right? We make sure and we try all our possible best to make sure that all the resources required to land on a job, to land on a cloud DevOps engineer job, you understand, we are going to provide it to you. Enough to land on a job, right? So at least we are going to put you on a level that at least once you are done with the training, you are done with your certification, you should be able to pick up a job as a cloud DevOps engineer, because we, the trainer, we are working as a cloud DevOps and we are all lead in where we are working. So we know what is required to actually land on a job. We know what you need to actually land on a job. Yes, if you want to, like, maybe you don't want to limit your knowledge to what we are teaching you, you want to actually check on YouTube videos, or you want to Google. Yes, in fact, we do even advise people to even Google, because Googling in cloud DevOps job is a skill. Troubleshooting is a skill in cloud DevOps engineer. So we won't want to even say, we can't spoon feed you everything. That is not possible. You understand? So we are going to advise everybody, because once you start the training, you are going to run into issues. Maybe we try something in class, you work for the trainer, right? But when you are trying to provision, or when you are trying to do your own setup, it's not working for you. We don't advise people to just come or to just come to the WhatsApp group and screenshot their error and say, okay, maybe please, instructor, I'm getting this issue. No, because you need to actually troubleshoot yourself first. Make sure that you try to solve the issue yourself. Then if you see that, okay, you make your research online, you are unable to actually fix the issue, then that's when you should now paste your error message to the group. Then both the trainees and the trainer will troubleshoot together to make sure that your issue is resolved. So we do welcome people to actually seek for external resources as well. It's not that the resources we are giving you will not be enough, but to actually help yourself as well, to build yourself. Yes, we do encourage you to source for external, because you can't even know what to actually source externally if we don't actually give you the right parts. It's when you understand the parts, that's when you now know, okay, yes, this is what I'm actually looking for, right? So yes, to answer your question, we are going to give you enough resources to land on the job. And also we advise people to also seek for external resources, make your research online, because that will actually build your knowledge. While working as a cloud DevOps engineer, you will face some issues at work, right? You won't just you will just run to us that, okay, see the error you are facing at work. No, right? You will be the one to actually troubleshoot yourself and fix your error. Even though we are here for you to actually assist you on the job, right? If you have any issue, but that will be kind of limited, right? So yes, we do advise people, don't just limit your knowledge to what, like, let me say, for example, we teach you how to host a static website on an S3 bucket, right? You now know how to host that particular website. There's nothing stopping you from checking online on seeing different ways in which you can actually host a website, or to harness ways you can actually use an S3 bucket, not just for website, not just for static websites. There are a lot of things you can use S3 bucket for, right? So you can just check online as well to see what you, that's just an example, right? Like, I'm just using that as an example. So yes, you are free to actually seek for external resources, because that will actually build your knowledge. I think that answers your question. So let me see. I can see Mrs. Evelyn. Yeah, you can ask a question, please.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah. I want to ask, do you have like a course outline for this program? One. And two, you trained some people the last time, and how far with getting a job? How many people, as in, what's the population of people that got job after your last training? Two, and like what you're saying, you're talking something about getting an external resources for this course. I know most of us are here because we believe you can impart in us. So I believe when we are lost, I think we need to come back to this group, even when we go to Google or YouTube, which so many of these materials are there. But sometimes when you get to Google or YouTube, if you don't understand what you're doing, you can't get it. So do you advise, don't you think we should come back here and like, hey, this is what is going on, we need help, and you guys need to help us, so that along the line you don't see us as if we are disturbing you people, things like that. And I want to know the course outline. If it's possible, we can get the course outline. As you said, we should go ahead and make a research and everything. If it is possible, we had to get a course outline for this program. And that's my question.
Yeah, that's a very good question, Ms. Evelyn. Yeah, thank you for that question. So to answer your first question, as I mentioned earlier, right, we have resources enough for you to land on a job, to land on a cloud DevOps engineer. But I will be honest with you, right? Doesn't, you quote me anywhere, I will just be honest with you. A cloud, as in you working as a cloud DevOps engineer, or let me say generally IT, there's nobody that can spoon feed you in IT. In any area of IT, there's nobody that can that can give you everything that, okay, while working, you won't have any issue. This is that these resources we want to give you is enough, right? Because this IT, this.
Can I help? No, Taufik, can I assist with that?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay, good evening, guys. My name is Austin. I'm a DevOps engineer. I work with a fintech company here in Lagos as the lead infrastructure and DevOps. I want to attend to the question you asked about coming back. Now, first of all, during the course of this training, we are going to make sure that you are grounded enough. Because in DevOps, not just in DevOps, I think in every school of life, one thing I find out, if people have a good foundation, they can find their way. But if you don't have a solid foundation, you always struggle with even the simplest of things. So in the purpose of this training, you be well grounded in such a manner that there is no challenge that will come your way that you will know how to tackle. But in an event where you have made effort, that is during work, that is after you have finished training and you are now working. It's a different ballgame. But if it's in the course of training you and you are practicing something, definitely bring whatever it is, whatever you are taught in class, and you are practicing it and you are running into issue, bring it to it. We take care of that. That is not an issue. But on the job support, I guess that is what your question is. If it's on the job support.
No, I'm not talking about the job. I'm talking about maybe during the period of the class.
Oh, sure. Maybe I guess my colleague did not get that part. If it's during the period of training, let's say we undertook a course in a particular topic, and after which you went ahead to do your practice, and during the practicing you are not getting what is expected. Definitely, you must come to class now. You must bring it up. Sure, you must bring it up. But the question is this: why we equally encourage? Because the idea of Devops, why many people sometimes seem to be wary of Devops, that there is a lot of troubleshooting to be done. You are not being paid just because you're a DevOps engineer. You are paid because you have that troubleshooting skill. There was a story I was reading some days back. A man was saying that you hired me and I'm taking 10 minutes to do your work and you're paying me, let's say, 100 million. You're not paying me for the 10 minutes. You're paying me because I spent 40 years learning that 10 minutes. So in the course of this training, we are going to build your troubleshooting skills. So that is why he's advising, while you are practicing what we trained on and you run into issue, don't be afraid to try, make extra effort on your own. It doesn't mean you must bring it to the classroom, solve it. Why not? Why not? So bring anything. But I thought the question was on the job support. If it's on the job support, we cannot guarantee you that. That is the truth. But the fact remains that as long as, because this course, this training is not a theory. The theory is just explaining the concept behind whatever topic we are choosing to, treat in the class. And after explaining the concept, I'm believing and understand that all of you are following up and following through. Then we practice, we do a hands-on, everything. 95% of what we are doing throughout these 4 months is hands-on labs. So you're going to be grounded.
I think maybe the aspect of the job.
Okay, go ahead, please. Go ahead. You can ask me. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
The last set that graduated, I don't know how many people has gotten a job. So I don't know what's the guarantee that this sets 100% of us after this course, we are going to get a job.
Fantastic question. Fantastic
Thank
question.
you.
Now, to start with, the first set, not the last set, the first set that graduated, out of 25, about 15 have written their certification. Others are yet to write. Now, to your question about asking if 100% of you can get a job, my dear sister, we have to be realistic. 100% of you will not put the same effort.
Yeah, I'm just giving it like a case study.
Yes, even while you are going to university, not all of you graduated at the same time. Some people graduated ahead of others because they were making extra effort. So you don't expect that because you are in the class, but you are not practicing. I can tell you that I have people that graduated, finished their training, like they said, finished like 3 months ago. Some of them have not even finished the whole class that you can. Whereas some have finished and gone and did certification and gotten a job. So you don't expect me to come and say, hey, you come and go and practice what you know. It's up to you. You know why you are enrolling for this course. But my assurance is this: as long as you are practicing what is taught in class, you are not piling up, because some people will have this lazy attitude. They will start manufacturing excuses why they cannot practice it today. They will do it next tomorrow. And before you know it, procrastination, and the thing begin to pile up. You're on your own. You're on your own if you are doing that. But if you are practicing, attending classes, practicing, I can guarantee you, you're getting a job is 99.9%. Did you get that?
Yeah,
so you're getting a job is, and the job demand
I think we lost Mr. Austin. So what he was trying to say is that the job demand for... Are you here? Okay, go ahead.
Company
Okay,
life cycle.
please, can I say something to Mr. Austin?
Hello?
Can I say something
Hello?
to Mr.
Please
Austin?
go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Austin, I want to clarify something Mrs. Evelyn is saying. And what he's saying is this. You know, most of us, we might be practicing, not on the class. I don't know if you're getting me. Now, if we are practicing, maybe on a normal day that's not the class, is there any avenue? Maybe we just stop somewhere, we need to progress and we cannot progress because we are got stuck, we have tried to seek this in. Is there any avenue we can contact maybe the person that the tutor to take us through or solve that issue?
Like a 24-hour service.
Yes, or we have to wait till the next class. Because
Just like
if
a
I'm doing
solution ground,
yes,
solution deck.
if I'm doing something.
Yeah,
If
sure.
I'm doing something and I get stopped.
Hello, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
I got your question perfectly. I said I am giving you that assurance. Be rest assured that as long as it's a topic that we did in class and you are practicing and you couldn't run past through a particular step, be rest assured that it's going to be attended to. You don't need to wait for the next class for it to be attended to.
So where do you address it?
Okay. I don't know. I was in the noisy background when the lecture started, so I couldn't hear some of the things my colleagues said. After today's inaugural class, majority of you have made payments. Some more will make payment. Before the end of today, we are going to be moving all those that have made payment to a new WhatsApp group, and it's in that WhatsApp group that the communications as regards to your lecture time, or if there's any information will be passed. And it's in that place that you are going to be screenshotting and dropping whatever challenges that you run into in the course of your practicing. So it's in that WhatsApp group. All communications are going to be through there. However, your videos are going to be sent to your mails because it's only you that can have access to your videos.
Can't you send
Don't
to
worry.
WhatsApp?
No, we can't send your video to WhatsApp. Reason is because this video is a private video, so you are going to be accessing it through the email address that you enrolled. Don't worry, more information on this.
Sorry, sir, please. The information
Okay.
I got. Sorry, I'm Vera. I got in late into this
go ahead.
class, and I got in late, and I got every information. Sorry, I might be taking you a bit back. Like
Okay.
the payment history, I don't have it because I just got registered into the platform. And another thing I really want to get clear about is that this program, like for somebody that doesn't have a root or anything about computer, is this something one can pick?
Okay.
Or you
Your
must have
question
a basic.
Yeah, your question actually confirmed that you are just joining, because I believe
Yes,
most
sir.
of this has been treated earlier. Yes, you are having
sorry
4
about
months. And in the course of these 4 months, the whole purpose of this training, in fact, we are not targeting anybody with IT knowledge. If you have an IT knowledge, you shouldn't be doing 4 months. Do you understand? So this training is for those that are totally novice, that don't know what is ABCD on IT. But you must be hungry to learn. You must be willing to learn. You must be passionate. This is not something that you do when I like. No.
So no matter the course you read, you can do it. Sorry,
if you
sir.
like, let it be linguistics that you studied. If you like, let it be. If I'm myself that is speaking, I did not study anything IT related, so you can do it. Don't worry, that is not an issue. As long as you can read and write, you have a working laptop.
Okay, so after this meeting now, you will resend the account details.
Yes, definitely. We are going to resend account details. Are you in the WhatsApp group?
I am. That's why I'm able to join you now.
Oh, great.
The
So don't worry.
information is there.
Don't worry.
No, it's not there because we just joined. So those of us that they just registered, you don't have the past history.
Don't worry, that is not a problem. It's going to be reshared. One of my colleagues will even reshare it as we speak. So that is not an issue.
But for now, how many are we, sir?
We can't quantify until by the end of today. If you are starting by tomorrow, we'll know how many of you.
Okay.
Yes. maybe 20, maybe 30, maybe 100. It depends
But
on.
at the end of the 4 months, is it possible can you register us to where we can do our certification?
No, we are not going to register you, but we are going to guide you on how to register for your certification. By that time,
Okay.
you are already we'll guide you on that. That is my English. Before 4 months, if somebody hear you speak, the person will be thinking, because the whole idea is that by the end of this training, you should be having like minimum of 2 years experience as a Devops engineer, because the training is purely hands-on and we are all working as Devops engineers. So we are bringing the industrial standard, what is obtainable in the industry. And again, the training is going to prepare you for interview and doing the job. I've had the opportunity of interviewing people for DevOps roles in my company, and I know what we ask. I know what is expected you to know. So be rest assured that if you follow up, my own is that you must practice. There is no shortcut. This is not something say, no. It's not crime. Practice is the key word. Is what will make you the expert. Remember the general saying that practice makes perfect. So that you are going to be whatever. And another thing, important thing to point out is most of us, those of us here, like myself now, I'm not really better than any of you on this other side. The only difference that we started ahead of you guys. To be honest, in the next 3 years, if somebody hear you speak about cloud, the person will think you'll be working for 10 years. So the difference is what? That sacrifice of practicing. That is the secret. Even there is a level you get to, you find out that all this issue of when I have issue, I'm going to run to you. You won't be bothered about that. You already know how to follow. So
that is when we are senior DevOps engineer.
Yeah,
that
so
we'll be running to you.
I think Mr. Austin have done justice to all the questions. So like
thank you.
We like to meet we like to meet everybody. Like let us know you, like let us know your background, and so that we can be able to serve you better, right? So like let us know ourselves. So I will start with Mr. Adewale Ahmed. Can you please introduce yourself, please? You can unmute yourself. Okay, so let me move to Miss Elizabeth Aideloje. Can we meet you, please? Okay, so let me move to Mrs. Evelyn.
Hey, this is Evelyn Opera, based in Austin, Texas. Zero IT. Let me not say zero IT. 1% IT idea. I have 1%, and I want to learn more. So my purpose of joining this team is to see myself in the nearest future with that 6 figures.
Correct.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, sure. We are going to assist you to land on a job as a cloud DevOps engineer, and your part, like you need to practice, as Mr. Austin said, practice. Like you need that commitment and dedication to actually land on that job, of which, yeah, if you can be able to promise us that, then yes, by the end of the program, you are going to land on a job as a cloud DevOps engineer. Yeah, so thank you. So let me move to Mrs. Tomike. Can we meet you, please? Mrs. Tomike Famoroti.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, my name is Tomike. I'm in Lagos. Then I have little experience about DevOps, but I've not really worked.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Hold on.
Oh, sorry, I'm losing.
Go ahead, Mr. Tomike. Mrs. Tomike, rather. Sorry. Go ahead.
But I don't really have an hands-on experience, but I have an idea of what DevOps is. I'm coming from a non-technical background too.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. So we are going to assist you to land on a job, even though you don't have any experience in IT. We are starting from the scratch, so you don't need to worry yourself. And by the end of the program, with your commitment and dedication, you are going to land on a job as a cloud DevOps engineer. We are promising you that. But what we just need from you is that dedication and commitment, and always practice by the end of each training session. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Then is this Mr. or Mrs. Tokbe? Can we meet you, please? Okay. So let me move to another person. Okay, so Mr. Oluwaseun Otunuga.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hello, yeah, this is Topper from Lagos.
Okay.
I'm happy to be part of this. I'm a total novice on IT programming or whatever. So, and I'm happy that I'm just like what you have said, that you are going to train us from the scratch. So I really want to be diversified in my career, and I promise myself that the total commitment will be there. So I'm so happy to be this. Thank you so much.
So if I may ask, Mr. Tope, what was your background like?
I'm a business person.
Okay.
I studied business administration in university.
Okay.
And I've been working for myself,
Okay.
So, but I want my career to be diversified. That's why I really want to be into this.
Okay. So, irrespective of what you read in the uni or at the Polytechnic, by the end of the 4-month program, I want to assure you that with your commitment and dedication, you will land on a job. That's for sure.
I hope so.
Yeah. So once you are
so,
done,
and I believe so.
once you are done with the training, please try to register for your certification exam, which is AWS Solution Architect. By the end of the training, we are going to guide you guys through on how to register for the certification, the material needed, or like on how to actually pass the certification. We are going to assist you guys. Don't worry. And once you are done,
thing, please.
right.
Can I start the lecture? I mean the training without a PC yet, because I'm yet to get a PC. I never knew that the training will be starting so soon. So can I start with that probably next week, because I ordered a PC from UK, and I'm yet to get it. So I don't know if I can start with that.
Like when are you going to get it?
Probably in 2 weeks' time, I'll get it. Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest with you, like you need a PC for this training. And for the first week, it might not be too technical, but believe me, you need to install like a lot of software on your PC, So because like as we said, this training is purely practical. We will just only let you understand the concept, but it's purely practical. So if try to get your PC as soon as possible, please. But this training required a PC. But the first week might not be too technical, as I said. But from second week, please, you need your PC, because that is the key to this training. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So who is next? Galaxy A12. Can we meet you, please? Who is you? Is
the
that
person that you muted? She said she's at the noisy. Where is noisy? Something like that.
Okay. Okay. So let me move to the next person.
Hey, Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is Onaha. Basically, I'm actually at work though, so I'm sorry, my stuff is showing as Galaxy A12. Yeah, where do I start from? I just want to be an expert in this whole DevOps engineering thing. I had a bachelor's of mechanical engineering. I actually worked as a drilling engineer for like 8 years. That's back home in Nigeria. So basically, yeah, I just want to move on to the next level and then, just make some good progress in life, though. Yeah, basically.
Okay, thank you so much. So where do you reside, if I may ask?
Yeah, I reside in Houston.
Houston. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, sure. By the end of the program, we are going to assist you throughout the program and enough to actually get invites and land on the job. Basically, with your commitment and dedication, that's what we just need. If you can just promise us that, then we can guarantee you by the end of the program, you are going to land on the job.
Hello?
Right?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you. Hello?
What's going on here?
Or am I talking on mute? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. We
Okay.
can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So I guess maybe it's your network. Yeah, so that's for, so let me move to the next person. iPhone 61, can we meet you, please? iPhone 61, can we meet you, please? Okay, so let me move to the next person. Mr. Theophilus. Yeah, can we meet you? Mr. Theophilus, can we meet you?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Mr.
sure.
Yusuf.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, so my name is Theophilus Okoli. I do not have a background in IT, but I know I do have fair knowledge or a fair theoretical knowledge about IT. Yeah, so currently I work in the pharmaceutical sales and marketing industry. That's it. So I'm in Nigeria.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah,
Mr.
then I would also
Theophilus.
like to add that
Right.
I am
Yeah.
quite passionate about having tech in health, providing some solutions, creating and providing some very nice solutions in the health sector. That's actually my drive, moving into IT.
Okay. Yeah, so Mr. Theophilus, so when we can assure you that by the end of the program, we are gonna take you there. By the end of the program, you are going to land on the job as a cloud DevOps engineer. All what we just need from you is just your commitments and always practice by the end of the training session, please. That is important. And with all this, then I can assure you that you are going to land on the job by the end of the program. Right?
Yeah, so Mr. Yusuf, sorry, just one more question.
Yeah.
Sorry. How many certifications exams are we going to be taking?
Yeah, like it's just one, which is AWS Solution Architect Associate level. It's not that certification is actually required to land on the job, but it's important because that will validate your knowledge in cloud, number one. And number two, once you upload your certificate on LinkedIn profile, right, that will attract a lot of recruiters to message you, to want to schedule an interview with you, because that actually validates you that, yes, you have a very good knowledge in cloud, right? So it's a means of, let me say, to showcase what you know. It's not that it's actually required to land on the job, but it's just important for your LinkedIn profile building. Then at the same time, even for yourself, because when you prepare for the certification, you will be so very vast in the cloud. So, so the answer to your question, with one certification, AWS Solution Architect, I can assure you, yes, you can land on the job, right? And while working, if you will now still feel like, okay, you want to still do more certifications, there are a lot of certifications in AWS. We have the AWS Solution Architect Professional. We have the DevOps Professional. We have AWS Developers. We have the System Administrator Associate level. We have Cloud Practitioners. We have a lot of certification in AWS. But the one that I know that, yes, is popular and that will actually validate your knowledge in the cloud is AWS Solution Architect Associate level. With that, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah. So any other question from anybody? I think Mr. Oluwaseun, you want to ask a question?
I have a question to ask, please.
Yeah.
I'm here to introduce myself. So.
Oh, okay, sure. You can introduce yourself.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Oluwaseun. I'm here in Florida. I'm a PhD student. I'm doing statistics, and I'll be finishing my program this year by God's grace. So I just want to learn more to add to my skills. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a very impressive background. Yeah. And yes, with your course of study, right? And I know by the end of your program, when are you rounding up, Mrs. Oluwaseun?
The end of this year.
So that's fall, right? Fall this year?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this is August, September, October, November. And by January, like this, you should start your OPT, right?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. So like I want to assure you that by the end of this program, I want you to just quickly write your certification by December, so that by January we can just give you like interview preparation, so that the job you are going to get from your OPT will be cloud DevOps engineer. And I can show you that it's very, very possible, since you are here and you are still here in the States, and I think it's a perfect timing for you. So by December we should be done with the training, and by January you should get a job for your OPT. All right.
All right.
So what we just need, please, as I mentioned earlier, is that commitment and dedication. If you can be able to do that, I can tell you by January you are going to land on a job. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So, Mr. Oye, can we meet you, please? You can unmute yourself.
Okay. It's actually pharmacist Onyu.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a pharmacist. I work with Emzo Pharmaceutical Company, a subsidiary, Zolan Healthcare Limited. I'm their trade channel manager in the East, in Nigeria. I know I don't have any IT background. I just do the basics, and the basics I do with my laptop is self-learned. I do many things myself. Everything I know about system, I do it myself. So I have this skill to know. Now that I'm going to be in class, I'm going to be tutored. But my kind of question is this: haven't gone through the videos of the class and try to practice. How long can I actually be practicing? Is it repeatedly, or can this be clicked on one practice or on two practice? Or is it a regular thing? Because I'm a kind of person, at the end of the class, I might just sit back and go through what they have done in class. And secondly, how soon would the video get to us? that the video of the class, because definitely network can be disturbing. You might not get everything as it's being done. So how soon can we get the video? And how soon can we acclimatize to this environment, especially when you practice? Give
Okay.
yourself 2 hours every day. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. To talk on the video, you are going to get a video immediately after your lecture, at least either 1 hour or 2 hours, like after the class. You are going to get a video, so that's not an issue. The same day we have the training, that's the day you are going to get a video. So don't worry about that. And to talk on the practicing, I think we all have individual differences, right? So what works for Mr. A might not work for Mr. B, but the results we want to hear, we want from you guys. If I should ask you question, or I put you on the spot, or we are giving you guys interview preparation, or as in how you are going to actually learn this thing, right? How you are going to assimilate it. We have individual differences. You might need to watch the video twice and practice twice before it sticks. We have some people, they need to practice it like 3 or 4 times before it can stick, right? While we have some people just once, it's going to stick, right? So we have our own assimilation rate differences, you understand? So, but I can assure you the way we are going to actually give you the training and deliver the training, you will understand it, and it's very, 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 very explanatory. You understand? So, but how you are going to actually grab it fast, maybe you need to practice twice, or you need to practice once. I think that we are going to leave that for you guys, but we'll just make sure that yes, we give you guys the training enough that you should be able to practice and land on a job, right? So you might decide to practice twice, you might decide to practice once or 3 times, but the end result is that we want you guys to know this thing, understand the concept, and know how to talk about it, right? Because it's one thing to actually know it. Why is another thing to know how to talk about it? Because during the interview, they are going to grill you. If you know it and you don't know how to talk about it, that's like let me say a gap, right? So because you must make sure that you learn it first. Is what you learn, that's what you know how to talk about, right? So firstly, learn it, then you make sure that yes, you know it enough to know how to actually talk about it. That if we ask you, can you explain a CI/CD process for me? You should be able to start explaining what is the meaning, what is CI, what is CD, see how you configure your CI, see how you configure your CD, see how you build the email, you build the application. You should know how to talk about these things, and this thing cannot just come from nowhere. It's when you practice, that's when you know how to talk about all these things. And time to time, we put you guys on the spot. We are going to interview you guys. We are going to give you projects you can actually claim. You understand? Because all the hands-on we'll be doing in cloud and DevOps and in Linux is a project-based hands-on. You understand? So by the end of the training, in fact, you can claim 2-3 years working experience as a cloud DevOps engineer, because what we are going to actually train you guys on will be enough to claim that numbers of experience. Right, so I think that answers your question, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So who's next? So any other question before we close the inaugural lecture? Any other question?
I have a question, Mr. Yusuf.
Yes, tell me.
Sorry, I don't know. I lost with you guys when I was trying to introduce myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically, I don't have I have zero knowledge of IT. Even though like I've worked in the engineering field, yeah. So that's one part, and the other part is what kind of specification do you need for the kind of laptop that you can use?
Okay, so to go with your first question, this like as I mentioned earlier, right? This training is actually targeted to people that does not have any IT background. If you don't have any IT background, like you don't need to worry yourself because we are starting from the scratch, right? Right from simple, then from there we now start moving you guys to command line interface, which is the CLI, Linux server administration. Then from there, before we now move to cloud, right? And it's purely hands-on, purely practical. So it needs a lot of practice, a lot of, you need to keep watching the video to just, maybe there are some parts you didn't get. You can just rewind the video and still rewatch it, and practice this thing. You understand? So when you practice, then that way, like, you know how to actually talk about it, because that's what you need in the interview. They won't get in the real interview, they won't give you server that you should be configuring, right? So but you must be enough, as in you must know how to window dress everything. Like, okay, they might ask you in your previous company, can you explain your pipeline? You understand? So at least with this practice you've been practicing, you can be able to explain a pipeline, like, okay, this is how your pipeline looks like your CI pipeline. You use Maven to build the code. When you build the code with Maven, then you perform some code scanning analysis to test the code against vulnerability, against code smell, against bugs, against code coverage, So with all this practice, is the only way you can know how to explain all these things like this is when you practice. You understand? So you explain all this, as in you explain your CI pipeline and you explain the CD pipeline on how you now deploy the code on top of the infrastructure. So it's when you practice all these things, that's when you know how to talk about it, So you don't need to worry yourself. We are starting from the scratch, basically. So don't worry about you not having any experience in IT, right? And then I think that's for your first question. Why, for your second question, you can use any kind of laptop, but so far it's 8 gig RAM, because in your Windows and your Linux, you are going to download a lot of software, which actually takes space, right? So that's why we do encourage your PC must be minimum of 8 gig RAM. You understand? But you can use any kind of laptop. It might be HP, it might be Apple, it might be Dell, it might be Lenovo, any kind of PC. But so far it have at least a reasonable numbers of space, And if you have like 4 gig or 6 gig space, you can just easily upgrade it, right, to like 8 gig. So yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Sorry, I need to get into work, but I just want to get a clarification, heads up. During the introduction, I was trying to speak, but I think I don't know, I couldn't get connected to you.
Okay.
I want to know, is it possible to send something? Let me even have an idea of what this whole thing is all about, and let me Google it, at least have an idea. Like I'm so lost in it. And I want to know, when is your admission ending for this session? And I think that's just about it.
Yeah. So we are starting this batch tomorrow, which is August batch, August 6th, Saturday. Yeah, we are starting 9 a.m. CST and 3 p.m. Nigerian time, right? And to talk on the course outline, I don't know if we can be able to send you a course outline, but you can actually. So are you with us since when we started the inaugural lecture?
No.
Okay. So I guess maybe that's why we are going to send this recorded video to everybody. So I guess you can rewatch the inaugural lecture.
Okay.
We have actually explained the whole thing, right from Windows Server administration, Linux, cloud, and DevOps, basically, because we are training you to become a cloud DevOps engineer. You understand? And a cloud DevOps engineer, in a nutshell, you'll be the one to provision the infrastructure. You'll be the one to do the configurations, and you'll be the one to deploy the code on top of the infrastructure you provision. So that's just an overview of the cloud DevOps engineer role: provisioning, configurations, and deployments. Right? Yeah. So, but I believe when you rewatch the inaugural lecture, like you can be able to
Give me 5 minutes, I'll call you.
on the cloud DevOps thing. And again, you can also like still check online, right? Cloud DevOps is a very, very demanding role right now worldwide, because most companies now are migrating all their services to cloud. Even there are some application that is being hosted on premises in the sense that they have a physical computer department. They have their physical servers that they host their application on. But now they are now migrating to cloud, because in cloud is scalable, is highly available, and highly secured, right? So they are now moving the application to cloud. And with this, they need a cloud engineers. They need those people that can help them to manage their application, who can help them to provision servers, right? Who can help them to do a lot of stuff in cloud, who can help them to deploy their application in case maybe they want to make some modification in their app, right? So you will be working closely with developer. Developer are the people who write their codes, who write the codes of the application, while you will now be the one to build the code, do some code scanning, and deploy the code on top of the infrastructure you provision, and do some configurations to make sure that the end user, the public, if they enter www.uber.com, for example, maybe you are working for Uber, they can be able to get response. Or if they just enter netflix.com, they can be able to see the website. Or if you go to your Play Store, your App Store, if you want to install any software, so as a cloud DevOps engineer, you will be charged with a lot of stuff. And believe me, the job is very, very demanding right now. Companies are ready to pay any amount to just make sure that they hire a cloud DevOps engineer. Believe me, but anywhere in the world right now, they are migrating to cloud. So I can tell you categorically that you are in the right path, and with your commitments, after 4 to 5 months, you are going to land on the job, because 4 months is the end of the training. The 5th month is for you to write your certification. Then by the end of that, you should land on the job. So just have this dedication, have this commitment that, okay, by the end of this training, just let me be committed for these 4 months in this training and write your certification. You are going to land on the job. Believe me. All right.
Yeah, Mr. Tafik, you are saying something in respect of CICD.
Yes,
that is in
CICD.
Jenkins. Yeah.
Okay.
So both, are they different? I thought both of them are the same in the sense like continuous integration, continuous deployment, testing, and development before they send it out for production or so.
Well,
but the way you are saying it's as if it's a two different
I'm
stuff
very
in
happy
Jenkins.
that I'm very happy that you still have this knowledge, right? But CI/CD, as you mentioned, is a continuous integration, while the CD is the continuous deployment.
Development, yeah.
Or continuous delivery. You might have, well, do I need to start? Do I need to say this here? Or okay, well, no issues, because I want to carry everybody along, right? So, but just let me mention it. So CI just simply means that, in the CI, once the developer commits their codes to the central repository, which is GitHub, right? So the CI pipeline is going to get triggered. So that CI pipeline, let me say your CI/CD tool is Jenkins. You use Jenkins Jenkins is one of CI/CD tool. We have different CI/CD tool. We have GitHub Action, we have Travis, we have Azure DevOps, we have AWS Pipeline, right? So
Yeah.
Jenkins, for example, in your Jenkins, that's where you are going to configure your CI. That's where you are
Yeah.
going to configure your CD. So there are some companies, they have their CI pipeline separately, right? And they have their CD pipeline separately. Same thing inside that Jenkins, you have your CI pipeline separately and your CD pipeline separately. But I don't want to deep dive because most people might be lost. They will
Okay,
be like,
yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so
along the
so let us keep it like this. So at least when we
yes.
get to DevOps, you know much about all these things and you can be
Okay,
able to,
thank you so much.
yeah. So thank you. So I can see Mr. Biola Lawal just joined. Mr. Biola, can we meet you, please? We just want to know you, know your background, and yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Biola Lawal. I'm a computer science student. I'm currently into fashion. I have my own label. So I decided to join this course because I feel like it's the in thing, it's what everyone is doing now. And I think it's great. That's why I joined actually.
Yeah, sure. So please try to register because registration closed today, like 11:59 p.m. Like if you intend to join the August batch, please try to register.
I should register for what?
Like, I mean, for the August batch, right? We are starting the training tomorrow. So please try to make your payment so that we can be able to add you to.
Oh, I did already.
Okay, you did. Okay, wow, wonderful. Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah. So Mr. Biola, the training we are starting from the scratch basically. So like even though you don't have any prior knowledge in IT, we are going to walk you through the process and make sure that by the end of the 4 months, you get a job as a cloud DevOps engineer. So like if I may ask, where do you reside?
Lagos, Nigeria.
Yeah. So yeah. You don't need to worry yourself at all, Mr. Biola. Just be committed. What we just need from you is just that dedication and commitment, right? If you can be able to give us that, I can tell you we are going to make you land on a job at the end of the program. And by the end of the program, we are going to introduce you guys to a certification, right? Which is AWS. So like, I'm just trying to rewind everything because I know you just joined, right? So you are going to write a certification, which is AWS Solution Architect, associate level. So once you are done with the certification, you come back to us. We help you to build your LinkedIn profile. We give you interview preparation. We help you with your CV, and you hit the market. And I can assure you, if you know all these things, right, you are going to land on a job by the end of the program. So all what we just need from you is just that dedication and commitment. And you need to keep practicing because this training requires practicing. It's not theory, like it's not the normal conventional teaching, like maybe just keep reading. No, you need to keep practicing. By the end of each training session, you need to practice. The training is Saturday and Sunday. For Nigerian residents, is 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., while for US residents is 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. CST, right? So by the end of the training every day, we send video to everybody to your email so that you can be able to practice. You can be able to rewatch and practice basically. So I want to implore everybody, please, by the end of each training session, rewatch the video and practice everything, because this is what is going to actually assist you. The first 2 months is what we are going to use to onboard you guys to cloud. We are going to train you on Windows Server and Linux Server. That is just to equip you to cloud and DevOps, right? So with these two training sessions, I can tell you categorically that you can be able to you can see cloud very comfortable and be able to work in cloud, and by the end of the training, you can get a job as a cloud DevOps engineer. All right.
Okay.
So
Yeah. But I've done the Microsoft and I've done Linux. So I think I'm supposed to be in cloud. Maybe I'm in the wrong group.
oh well, if you know that you're so very comfortable with Linux and Windows.
No. I did it with you guys, like you guys.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Like, are you June batch?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
This is the inaugural class. Yeah,
sorry, Mr. Abiola. We are trying to onboard the new batch. All right.
Right.
So we see in cloud tomorrow. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. So I think I'm seeing Miss Banke. So Miss Banke, can we meet you, please? Like, we just want to know you, your background, and how so that we can serve you better, basically.
Hi everybody.
Yeah, hi.
My name is Banke. I'm currently a business analyst and I'm just trying to, explore other things. And I think there's an opportunity here. That's why I'm considering DevOps, basically.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so I think you actually know how the whole project works, basically, because in an IT project, we have the business analyst, which BA is the person who knows the blueprint of the whole project, right? We have the project manager, we have the Scrum, and we have the DevOps engineer, and we have the developers, right? So here in our training, we are starting from the scratch. We are starting right from the ABCD in IT, which is Windows Server Administration. You learn the basic terminologies in IT in Windows. You learn how to actually promote a server to become a domain controller. You know, like, what they call network infrastructure, what's the meaning of networking, how you can ping two servers, right? So once we are done with Windows, then we'll now onboard you to Linux. Linux is the bedrock in cloud and DevOps. So once we are done with Linux, in Linux, you will learn how to run a Linux command in a Linux operating system. You learn the advanced and the basic networking in Linux, right? So once we are done with Linux, then we'll now move you guys to cloud. So by let me say the third week in cloud, you'll be able to know how to host a static website on an S3 bucket. You are going to learn different projects in cloud, both serverless and a web tier application, right? So once you are done with cloud, then we'll now move to DevOps. So DevOps is the end goal. So by the end of the training, we do advise everybody to write a certification in cloud, which is AWS Solution Architect Associate level. So once you pass the certification, after the training, you come back to us, then we groom you to land on a job as a cloud DevOps engineer, basically. So I think you are in the right path. You don't need to worry yourself, even though you don't have any knowledge in either in cloud or in DevOps or in IT, because we are going to walk you through the process to when you land on a job. All what we just require from you is just that commitment. All right. So yeah, I think that's it.
Mr. Traffic, sorry to come in.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you.
Okay.
The certification exam you're talking about, is it a must that we have to write it? Because I believe after the course, as a student, if you believe you can defend what you study, then you put your resume on LinkedIn or Indeed anywhere. And
yeah, well,
does it work that way?
I've mentioned, sorry to cut you.
Yeah.
I've mentioned this earlier, right? The job does not require you to have a certification. But why we do advise people to write certification is just to attract recruiters, because
Okay.
Everything about this cloud DevOps, you can land a job on LinkedIn. In fact, most jobs, most job people get as a cloud DevOps engineer is through LinkedIn. You understand? So different recruiter will check your profile, and if they see this, let me say you have AWS solution architect, without seeing you alone, they will know that yes, that actually validates you, even without seeing you. They will want to message you and they will want to like schedule an interview with you. Sure, you understand?
Yeah,
But if you have like, let me say 8-9 years working experience, you don't need to even put anything, as in you don't need to prove anything. With your job description alone, they will see on LinkedIn, that will be enough. Even you might even say, okay, yes, you want to try your luck, even without writing the certification. Once you are done with the training, we can groom you. You can just try your luck. That's okay. If a recruiter reach out to you, then as you are doing that, concurrently you are preparing for your certification. Yeah, at times you might land on a job without a certification, but to just be on the safer side, right? Because it's what we've done. We've trained people to become a cloud DevOps engineer, and this is the route we give them. They write their certification, and after that, we help them with their LinkedIn building. Within few weeks, within 1 month, they land on the job straight up. Different recruiters will be reaching out. In fact, you might have more than 15 interviews within 1 week. You will just be the one scheduling that, okay, let me have this there today, let me have this, So because of why your profile will be so very impressive. So that's why we do advise people to have the certification. So, but it's not actually required for the job, if that's your question. It's not required for the job. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I think we've made justice to for all the questions. Or do we still have any other question? Okay, so please, guys, let us make our payments and let us meet in. I won't be the one to train you guys on Windows. You get to meet your trainer when you make your payments. We add you to the new WhatsApp group. Then his name is Mr. Richard. Basically, he's very very vast in Windows and in Windows and Linux. So you are going to meet me and Austin and CY in cloud and DevOps, basically. So I wish you guys all the best, and
I'm waiting for you, cloud.
Sure. And I wish you guys happy learning. So we meet in on the WhatsApp group. Any other question? Like, are we good?
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
And I hope their voice will be as clear as your own voice.
Sure. Sure.
Seriously, people get impression of someone from the first meeting, but I believe you were so very loud and clear. I mean, I wish their voice, you can lend them your voice while taking us.
Okay.
That's a compliment.
Don't worry.
I have a question.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
have a question. After each lecture,
yes,
will you guys allow us to ask questions before the end of the class?
Sure. You can ask the question on the WhatsApp group. If you have any issues, if you have any question, want to clarify, you can ask the question in the WhatsApp group. We'll answer you. Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.